Women of Reddit, what is something men do that they think is sexy attractive but really isn't? On dating websites, post photos of them posing with at least 8 scantily clad women who work at the tropical resort that the guy is staying at. Talking about how they can take down someone. Okay, you do that. I had an ex that would put on his sultry voice and tell me it's time for bed. It really came out sounding creepy and not a bit romantic. Physically, we had good times, but I had to cringe past his verbal intro. Compare me to other girls in a way that's supposed to make me feel special, but is actually just demeaning to every other woman on the planet. Things like most women only want chads who will treat them like shit. I'm happy you're not like that, or other females are plastic bimbo bitches who are only out for money. I'm happy you're not a gold digger. Say that enough and I start hearing I hate women. But I'm nice to you because I think you're fuckable. Bragging about how expensive their house, car, boat, etc. is, or how much money they make. It's great to share your passions and talk about your job, but if all you're interested in is material items and money, I'm immediately turned off. That lip licking movement in between the index and middle finger implying that they are good at cunningless. Yeah, yucks. Trying to prove that they are smarter than me. Dude, I want to be able to have a normal conversation with you. Stop interrupting me and actually listen for a second. You might recognize that I too have something interesting to contribute to the conversation. Talking about fights they've gotten in. Saying how bad they wanna beat another guy's ass. Saying I could kill that guy, or other belligerent things. I do not care if you punch things. I do not care if you can overpower other men. I do not care if you are capable of killing people. Just be a good person and make good choices. Your pissing contests do not interest me. The Tinder squint which they think makes them look like a moody lead singer on an album cover, when it actually makes them look like Renee Zellweger smelled a fart. Acting like an aggressive gorilla after a few beers if anyone looks at their girlfriend in public. You aren't being chivalrous. You're being a twat. Negging. I will take that as a literal representation of your personality and I will avoid you. Do it once and I will immediately write you off as a manipulative asshole. A waste of time. It reminds me of when little boys would pull your ponytail on the playground, except it's more unsettling because it's a grown man trying to emotionally manipulate you into fucking him. Going into great detail about all the things they're going to do when they get you in bed, and then doing exactly 0 of those things. Don't bring me into the bedroom thinking I'm getting an evening of kink and pleasure when the reality is 10 seconds of jackhammer sex that's only enjoyable for you. Bragging about things that they shouldn't brag about to make themselves seem more manly. That is, not caring about their hygiene or skincare, not knowing how to look after a child, not knowing how to cook, not wanting to clean up after themselves or clean a house, not wanting to read books to better themselves or trying new things, etc, etc. Even worse when they shame other men for it. A bit of a contradiction, but when a guy is either a fuckboy or a nice guy, no one, female or otherwise, needs some grade A mega douche making you feel inadequate, nor does anyone need some spineless doormat putting people on a goddamn pedestal and drop kick your ass off of it the moment you reject him. Confidence and kindness are sexy attractive in a man, and people in general, but not when someone takes it to the extreme. Edit. Added the drop kick part. Trying to show how alpha they are by treating other people like shit. No, Trent. Being a dick isn't sexy and you look pathetic. Some boys think being loud and destructive is somehow cool and attractive, especially when drunk. They don't realize it makes normal men and women look down on them, like they're some kind of subhuman chimp-minded chimera of disappointment. Bragging about how many women they've slept with because they are good in bed, and their crazy times with the boys, partying, drinking, etc. Drive really fast and recklessly. I would like get home in one piece. Bragging in general. I've had men tell me, on first dates, about their salary, their cars, how hot their last GF was, their stock investments, how much money they made on Bitcoin, how early they got into Tesla, their employee number at major tech company, how much cash they have on hand, etc. Such a turn off. Can someone explain to me why exactly they do it? Insecurity? The belief that men are supposed to provide resources so they are helpfully showing me theirs? The inability to comprehend that I'm a person who wants to like you as opposed to be dazzled by you. Guys who brag about how good they are in bed, I've learned if they brag about that they're very likely going to be awful. Deep shallow dudes. That's great you like to read Sartre and that nature is your church or whatever, but I really don't need to know 5 seconds after meeting you how your keen observations of people at parties you always go to but don't enjoy has led you to supreme emotional intelligence and a nihilistic worldview. You don't sound intelligent. You just think you do because you're stoned. Bullying other PPL, especially waitstaff to show dominance or something? Quickest turn off ever. If you have to constantly tell people how big of a deal you are, you're not a big deal. Also don't be a jerk to the staff. Crazy, but to this day a lot of guys think being excessively persistent is the way to get a girl. As soon as I've said no, or told you I have a boyfriend, it should be the end of it. If I was interested, I wouldn't have rejected you in the first place. Edit. Guess I didn't make it clear that I'm talking about excessively persistent men who have blatantly been told no. Bragging about dick size. It's the motion of the ocean, my friend. I feel really secure knowing no one said show off their $2,000 gaming rig, describe their intense passion for Magic the Gathering, or explain the complexities of the D&D campaign they're deeming. I apologize for any moisture accumulation I may have caused. Talking about all the ways you wanna fuck on the first date. I don't know you, and I sure as hell don't wanna fuck you. Also, I was talking to a guy who seemed really nice, and he liked talking on the phone as we fell asleep. Super cute, right? Nope. 3 days in, he jacks off while we're talking and keeps demanding I send nudes. Got blocked real quick. I just don't understand how they're 180 like that. Things were great until he decided to be nasty. Dudes who can grow a nice beard, but shave the upper lip hair off and wear Oakley sunglasses, please stop. Threatening to beat someone up because you were venting to them. There are better ways to tell me not to vent to you. I used to date a guy who thought it was sexy to just pull out his penis and start wanking in front of me. Like I was gonna go all porno one day and just hop on. Like damn dude, foreplay or something. Not make any noise during sex. Granted, I spent many years masturbating as a female, not making noise and hiding any sex noise as a teen due to growing up in a sex before marriage is a sin type of household, and I've since learned that making noise during sex shouldn't be hidden. But come on, when I'm kneeling in between your legs and giving you a blowjob, using my hands and a good spit combo, at least make some type of noise so I know you're into it and not asleep. Disclaimer, please read the edit before you come at me or get butthurt. Simply liking coffee and the Smiths doesn't make you a soft boy. The whole soft boy demeanor. Wow, you read, listen to Arctic Monkeys and the Smiths. Drink your coffee black. Know the basics of acoustic guitar or bass. Smoke cigarettes and weed. Drink whiskey. Write poetry and are too broken and detached to ever truly love anybody after that one time you got your heart broken when you were 17? Amazing. Now get out of my DMs talking about that glimmer in my eye and smirk in my smile that made you know there was something about me, or even how we can be Rex together, or play the big talk about being too broken to love but claim to have fallen in love with me after like 2 weeks of sparse conversations where you spout fake deep bullshit. The Instagram account BMuteSoftBoy is a great example of this oddly popular niche group of guys. Edit, nothing is wrong with any of those interests. I have a lot of them myself, which is how I end up in the same circles as so many of them. The only problem girls have with softball is how they act in DMs. That fucking thing some guys do where they rub their hands together and bite their lip, looking you up and down like your food. It's gross. Approach people normally, you fucking weirdos. Dated a guy once that took the masculine thing too far. I couldn't call him cute without him flipping out. He wouldn't ever call anything cute either. Wouldn't even run his hands through my hair because it was too girly. Guy I'm with now falls asleep playing with my hair and it is heaven. Wear way too much cologne. Catcalling. Don't yell things at me and expect me to think I'm going to give you any of my attention. Stop talking and walk away. Putting on extremely tight jeans just to sag them almost past the balls. All my exes were crazy. I can take care of you. I spent a long time taking care of myself and turns out I really like being in charge of my own shit. Don't take care of me, take care of yourself. It works better if we both have legs to stand on. I had a guy ask me if I liked having his hands around my waist. Yes, Waste. All I could picture was him holding a poop in his hands. If it was an isolated incident it wouldn't have been so bad. But he was really bad at spelling, and not for a lack of education. That's a turn off for me. Being overprotective in a cringy way. I have nothing against a guy who is considerate, but I really don't need someone who wants to punch every other guy that just looks at me, or even someone who makes shit up like I heard these strangers over there talking shit about you and frowning at them like WTF dude. Make me feel safe if you want to, but don't make me feel like I'm made of glass. Trusting you know what your girl wants is not the same thing as telling her what she wants. One is knowing her well enough to give her what she wants, the other is doing what you want and telling her she should lighten up and give it a try. Lying to make them elves look smart. The truth will come out, and when it does, they will look like a dumbus. Order my food for me, not in a cute, I know what she wants kind of way, but a dominant arsehole kind of way. I once was taken on a date. He insisted in driving and drove like a jackass there and back. Blasted the same T-Pain song over and over. Then as we proceeded to order, he ordered everything for me, from the water to my horrible salad. I still paid half the bill. One of the worst dates ever. 0 out of 10 would recommend dating this guy. Messaging someone right off the bat with something like, hey baby sexy slut, I bet you'd like it if I insert detailed but poorly written and grammatically incorrect sexual fantasy that borders on both violent and extremely awkward all at once. Number. No, I would not like that. And no, this isn't appealing. If I ask for your detailed sexy fantasies, that's one thing. But don't come out the gate with that shit, man.